Get Darth Vader right where you want him on Kenner's new Star Wars Return of the Jedi poster with the exciting Star Wars trivia game on the back. The Imperial forces are challenging you to match the names and faces of all the characters from Return of the Jedi, like Luke Skywalker and Bib Fortuna. And it's all free. Look for these details at participating stores or send 2 proofs of purchase from any Star Wars action figures to this address and beat the Empire at their own game.
Greetings and salutations, everyone. Here we are. We are wrapping up Star Wars Day. Man, oh man, what a blast. This has just been, it's sort of like unbelievable. I've gotten through all this. It's kind of crazy. So, Matt, thank you, my brother, for kind of co-hosting us out the door, man. You're my biggest, longest member hanging with me doing this stuff. It's just been great. And our friendship's been great, and you helped me get to this point, and it's only fitting that we kind of rock and roll some Star Wars the proper way out the door tonight. So thanks, my brother.
Hey, yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me here. And like I said, you've done a fantastic job. I've been watching throughout the day while doing a little bit of work, listening and stuff, and you've been rocking and rolling, talking all kinds of good Star Wars stuff. So to be here to discuss some of that stuff with you, it's an honor in itself. So appreciate it, my friend.
Yeah. Well, we've had a blessing of a day too. Chris Persia donated memberships. We got all these new members. People like DJ Ronnie G joining in. He's here now. Dude, bro, thank you guys so much. And again, Matt has content like myself. Get in that description. Make sure you're connected to him as well. And let us know. Like, Matt is the same as I. Like, we need to know what you guys want from members' content. We both kind of approach it differently because we're both kind of feeling out what works, not just for ourselves, but for you guys. Like, it's like, we don't want to do exactly the same thing. So I think it's cool that we kind of approach it differently, but we want to know what you guys want. So you do that. Gap, here he is. He's dropping those emojis like a boss. That's how you do it, Gap. That's how you do it, my friend. Continue to be on the men, Gap. Love you, man. Love hanging out with you guys. I will open that door for that, for you guys to hop in here in a minute, but I got to get Matt on the spot. So first Star Wars movie in a theater.
Oh, first Star Wars movie in a theater was Phantom Menace. I'm a prequel kid when it comes to the theaters.
Prequel
now,
baby? Okay.
Now I wouldn't say I'm a prequel, but I even pulled it out. This is what I grew up on, right here.
The black box.
The originals, right? The non-special. This was it. This is what I loved. Empire Strikes Back is my favorite. But the first movie that I got to experience and see in theaters were the prequels because, they weren't playing when I was a kid. I mean, I was born in 85. So, back then they weren't really out. I saw them on VHS or TNT used to play them all the time, TBS and stuff. So I used to watch them every single opportunity that I had. But yeah, Phantom Menace was the first time. And it was an experience. Let me tell you, I remember the crowds and how crazy everything was, and people had lightsabers, and it was nuts, man. It was a lot of fun, though.
Awesome. That's awesome. So, Matt is a little younger. It's okay. Yeah. It's fine. It's
that's
fine.
Crazy.
Just a little bit though.
Going on 38 is considered young. That's
well, it's just nerd culture, man. We're talking OT Star Wars too. It's not like we're talking about something. And Shellback's in here. He's going to be up in here, I bet. Whitechapel's been with me nearly all day, brother. Oh, you man, you're in it to win it, man. Whitechapel's hardcore, man. You're so cool. Love it. So. Yeah, this is the last stream. We're gonna rock and roll. It is what it is, man. We're just gonna have some fun and just talk about some stuff. So, Matt, we talk about some of these things, but one of the things I've prided myself on, and you and I've talked about, we actually did a Saturday morning cartoon on this, and we chatted before, after, during about the commercials and nostalgia elements, how it's like this snapshot of the thing. And that's what was your favorite toy, or maybe your first toy, or a Christmas memory? Because Star Wars is like part of all of our lives in this way.
I would say my favorite and the toys that we got first I remember it was Luke and the X-Wing. That's what we all wanted. It was that, and then we got a TIE fighter to go with it. Those were, because I love just the X-Wings, the space battles. But yeah, I remember that was the first thing. And we had so many, me and my brother in that sense were spoiled when I came to it. I remember Stormtroopers, Darth Vader, Obi-Wan. And like I said, it was all on the OT stuff. But yeah, the first thing I remember that I loved and I carried everywhere was that freaking X-Wing. That was so cool. The only thing I never got that I always wanted was I always say AT-AT. I know a lot of people say AT-AT. I like AT-AT, but I always wanted one of those. Never got one. I thought those things were so cool. But yeah, it was the X-Wing for sure. I loved it. The Falcon was obviously awesome toy too, but I just loved fighter pilots because Star Wars always, to me, kind of replicated like World War II, and I've always was a World War II fan. I love history and everything. And so the X-Wing to me always reminded me of like a P-51 Mustang or a Spitfire or something, So
well, I mean, that was the footage they used. So if you haven't heard that story, right? So when Spielberg saw this movie, there was no footage yet for that final trench sequence. A lot of that was just them with their World War II footage. The dogfight sequences were that was his first screening that he talked about. So, but for you, here's what we got for you, Matt.
Imperial TIE Fighter, attack! X-Wing spotted in the face! I'm in for a dogfight!
Imperial TIE Fighter and X-Wing Fighter, new from Star Wars Micro Collection line, each sold separately.
He's in my sight! Got me! I've been hit! I'm crashing!
That's so
They're built
cool.
for heavy battle.
This is one of the little ones, yeah.
Yeah,
Where
the
they
like
collapse on
micro
themselves.
ones.
The micro machines, yep.
The sky is where we belong!
Imperial TIE Fighter and X-Wing Fighter from Star Wars Micro Collection line, each sold separately, figures included, new
Man.
from Kenner.
Toys were so cool back then. I mean, the 90s, they were still great too, but they're nothing like they are today. Toys were so awesome. And it takes you could look at a toy like that. Like I didn't have the micro machine ones, but I could see, like I'll go thrift shopping, whatever, and I'll see old toys, man. And it takes me right back to when I was a kid. And I remember where I was when I was playing with them and what I was doing and the stories that you used to create with them. It's so awesome. So freaking cool.
Yeah, Shellback is so right. These ships were just amazing. Like it was crazy how much fun we had with this stuff. Yeah, we're with you, Gap. We're just loving this kind of stuff. So, yeah, it was, and it's kind of cool to hear that because, because you were a little bit younger than me, for me living through it, you've heard me talk about it all day. Like these things just weren't even available. Like for us, it was just like, wow, well, someday I hope I'll get some of these things. Like it's just, and then you get like someone joked earlier about like a land speeder doesn't fly. I'm like, amateur.
Yeah.
I'm like, when that's the only one you got, that baby will fly.
Oh yeah. I remember
that was my first one, man. I'm like, my land speeder flew. I don't care what y'all have to say. 8-year-old. Well, I don't know if I got it. I don't know when they dropped. I had to look at the dates of when they actually dropped in 78. I didn't get it at Christmas, obviously. So it was earlier in that year they dropped. And the land speeder was my first ship. I remember, like you said, I literally remember on this like linoleum tile, rolling it for the first time. I literally remember this experience very, very vividly. So when I'm senile, I don't have many memory holes left. You can just pop in and just play a couple commercials for me. And like, Pops is thinking about that commercial, guys. I know. Blink your eyes if you can hear me, Pops. I know you're.
And to answer Gap's question, did I sleep with the X-Wing or TIE Fighter? I had a headboard above my bed and it had enough room to where it looked like it landed. So I always had it there. And then I had the TIE Fighter next to it too. And then I always had little Luke outside the X-Wing standing next to it, kind of like it was docked or whatever. But even that, like, you could set it up to where it was so cool. And like I said, I loved having all the stormtroopers and stuff, man. It was, and then even they had the one with Luke who took the helmet off, and he looked like the stormtrooper.
Oh, you're so late in the game. We did not have helmets or removable helmets. Are you kidding me?
I know. Well, yeah, that was as
you
they got better.
You had cool stuff, man.
Yep.
We didn't have.
We had the cool stuff back then.
Yeah, you did. Yep. Night Ronin pops in. Hey there, man.
What's up, buddy?
Gap wants to know via Mags. He says about a plushie Ewok.
No, I'm not a fan of the Ewoks.
Yeah, my land speeder had imagination engines attached to it, baby.
Yep.
Mags is just here for the gum challenge. So yes, if you weren't on the last stream, yes, gave away a pack of gum. It went to Nas, who's now bequeathed it. I don't even know the appropriate. He's transferred ownership to Mags, so these cards will go to Mags. And I said I will do a Padawannabe challenge, which we will do. Too soon, Mags. We got to build up to it, but I appreciate the tease. Let's go. Speeder bikes were so cool. I love speeder bikes, man. I tell you what.
The speeder, yeah, it's like, Star Wars is Harleys,
Yeah,
basically what they were.
So cool. Jana's here. Whitechapel's doing stuff. Well, not Janet, thank you for being a member too, by the way. I don't know if you were here earlier when I was thanking all these new members and that kind of thing. So didn't hurt. Removable helmets. Yeah, I know we had to pretend. We had to pretend, Chris. I know.
Yeah, I remember my my Chewbacca took a dirt nap. My Lando was eaten by the dog. So I remember that. So we always just made like, oh, he got eaten by the Sarlacc pit. That was our version of Sarlacc pit. Was the dog got it?
That reminds me too, because I didn't go through any more figures. I kind of said I would for Jedi, but we ended up talking about other stuff. So I didn't really get into some of the Jedis. Like there's my Biker Scout.
Yeah. Oh man, that's so freaking cool.
Yeah, my 1983. Here's my Bib Fortuna. Really, I was shocked. Bib still has like his cloth cape on and stuff. He's in great shape. I'm shocked.
And those are the older Kenner, right?
These are my figures I played with when I was a child.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Here's my Vader with no head, which has been the ongoing joke all day. For anybody who didn't get it, because how could you reenact Empire Strikes Back if you don't have one? So I had to have one that doesn't have a head.
Dagobah Vader. There you go.
Yeah. I love these guys.
Oh, those are so freaking cool.
Yeah.
The Imperial Guards.
Yeah. I loved Nien Nunb. I don't know. It's the design. It's just something.
The face is so awesome.
And he wears like this vest. Like, dude, what's with the vest? It's like you got the vest thing going. Okay, so yeah, you mentioned the dog eating it. So yeah, this is my Endor soldier.
Oh, yep.
There you
Battle
go.
damage.
Yeah, his head's all chewed. And, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me
Took
see
a
what else
blaster to the head.
A lot of this actually tends to be Empire stuff. It was in the bottom. There's Lando.
There's Lando.
There's a Bespin guard. Here's bounty hunters.
Yep.
I'm sure you've seen me. Do I have IG-88 in here? I have him. He was actually on display at my house, so I may have left him there. Yeah, here's Bosk. And Bosk.
Yep.
And here's the goat. That's the one that if you haven't heard me talk, he's not going anywhere.
I think there's one, if you can, there's a rare one of, I always remember there's some type of rare figure. It was like the prototype or the early.
There's only so many that existed because the Battlestar Galactica Viper, the kid shot the plastic thing in his throat and choked.
Yep.
So they had this major recall, major pull on toys and whatever. So I promoted this morning that there's a documentary. You go to YouTube and watch called The Plastic Galaxy, and they go through this whole timeline of all this. And they talk about none of those missile shooting ones actually went to market. Now they're out now. They've surfaced, and there's only like so many of them. Mm-hmm. The one guy has the museum of them, and he can show you the different slots, the J slot versus the not, all these different prototype things like that. But it never actually went to market. So but there's a little dose of some of the figures and things like that. But yeah, tons of stuff going on. We're going to open the door here in a minute. Let folks come on up in here. Yeah, Roman popped back in. Awesome, brother. Thanks to have you. Speeder bike chase. My goodness, I couldn't agree more. I'm in love with that. Yeah.
The sounds of the speeder bike were just so free. And that's the sounds really made it. The sounds really made everything just pop.
Yeah. Yes.
Even the land speeder was so cool. I remember even having a toy like that, just the land speeder alone, like it wasn't in a massive, like crazy scene, right? But it was still just so cool to have just because the design was awesome.
And I have to be
honest, you could do with it.
That toy, I know it sounds silly because, use the Vaseline on the thing to kind of create this effect or whatever. But when you did the toy and you rolled it on the floor, you really couldn't see the wheels. It really looked cool how it was floating.
Like it was floating. Yeah.
1978 Land Speeder was freaking cool beyond all get out. And when that X-Wing, when you had like non-expansion and expansion mode, like that was a really cool thing. I know it was very simple.
Pop. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That was really cool.
Yeah. Okay, guys. AC made it back in here. Yeah, tons of stuff. So before we let it open up to anyone else, anything else we should talk about real quick? I do have some comic books. I got the card binder. I don't know if you saw the card binder. I actually got one page out. My God, help us. We try to get more pages out. I got a whole box of cards. What else do you want to see or anything else you want to talk about before we get too far into chaos mode? Because who knows what kind of rabbit hole we could go down.
Well, let's see. The only other things that I pulled up that I found is, I don't know if did you ever have these pops? I think these came out around, I say my time, like when the special editions were, but the Star Wars Galaxy magazines.
Star Wars Galaxy magazines, absolutely. Yeah,
Yep.
I don't have any of those handy with me. I might. Let me double check. But my
Yep.
stuff was double bagged to move. Let me see if I have a Galaxy book here or not.
I have a
I
couple
have a
of them.
couple. Mhm.
Yeah, I have that one. And all these are. I'm a maniac when it comes to books and stuff. Like I have to keep them pristine. Speaking of actually the toys, here's like an ad for. You probably can't see it because of the damn lights.
There you go. Yep.
But some of the like their little like remote control, I think, or model kits maybe. Yeah, use the Force to control. But the Vader edition one, I love this one. It's so freaking cool. And then they had the Leia edition, where it's a huge poster, which it was just, I mean,
oh yeah,
you know, that's what I hated now about stuff. It's like, oh, fans, you know, like even as boys, like I loved Leia as a character, such a great character, and there's just so much you could do with it, or you know, that you like about it.
my dad was teasing me earlier because he overheard us talking. I don't know if I was calling her beautiful or gorgeous or whatever. You're in there happy about something. I says, yeah, I think we're talking about Princess Leia, Dad.
There you go.
Yeah, he's like, oh, okay.
And just so many cool, like this little postcard. It's got Boba Fett's the Slave one and B-Wing, right? Like so many cool little things that came with these magazines. These magazines were great. If you can ever find them, they're always full of just information, or they have little comic strips in them, all kinds of stuff. And then the only other one I have is it's the Obi-Wan, which is really freaking cool too. Like I love these magazines. These are so much fun. They had so much cool stuff. It had like the games going over them. Like I said, little comic strips in them too that you collect, and they just tell you a little bit of story each one. I only have like 3 or 4, but man, these are awesome. These are so cool to have. And then I think I talked about this on a member stream, Pops, which you were there. This is before they even planned the Empire Strikes Back or anything, but it's like the Star Wars official album.
Mm-hmm.
So if you actually read through this, and I found this another one at a thrift store, right? But before, like looking through this book, a lot of this, like the explanation of things is completely different because they didn't have Empire Strikes Back planned. So like,
and this was all the original concept designs. Like that's a C-3PO design at the top there, where it's like it looks like it was Metropolis, you know. And those are also featured in those trading cards I was talking about earlier. That '93 Star Wars Galaxy cards. It has a lot of that Ralph McCoy's concept art and a lot of Lucas ideas and some of that kind of stuff. Yeah. All these set photos and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this was really freaking cool. And like I said, they going into the back explaining things, they like I forgot what it was, like the Clone Wars and how all that it's changed because again, they didn't have a sequel planned, right? It was after the success. It's like, all right, maybe we should make another one. So a lot of the story in here, or there's a couple of things, I'll have to look for it exactly what was changed, but it's just cool to see how it kind of evolved due to the success of the movie. But just like we've always talked about the practical effects. So
there you go. Yeah, the models.
How freaking cool would that be to have? But yeah, no, nothing really particular. Just these are some of the things I found. And then I think you were talking about this earlier, the Star Wars comic cover that you have, like the very first comic that came out from Marvel. Let's try to find it. I don't have it. I found this at an Ollie's one day.
Yep.
And it's all the Star Wars comic covers.
It's the reprint of the covers, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Because, I mean, getting a hold of some of the older comics are a little, you know, but there's the man right there.
Yeah, Boba
Fett. Couple cool. And I love the artwork. So that's really why I picked it up. Just, I mean, stuff like this. Just really freaking cool.
Yeah,
like, I would
beautiful stuff.
A poster of that would be awesome. But yeah. So yeah, I don't think I have. I'm pretty sure something happened with all my action figures from long ago, but I still have, you know, some trading cards. And like I said, I'm not a fan of the special editions. So as I got older, I've tend to not like them anymore. But just because I feel like they didn't really help the movie. I don't know. Chat, do you guys? I know isn't it kind of up in the air? Some people like the special editions and some people don't. I'm not really the biggest fan of them. I think they more so hurt the film. Like this scene here, I was not a very big fan of.
Correct. Yep, we
Right?
agree.
I didn't.
Yeah,
I don't like
that's
that.
that's probably one of the least favorite of all of the. I think the biggest positive in the special edition would be the X-wings at the end when they're going off the Yavin. That might be a positive. I go, that part was kind of cool. They made it feel a little more realistic that we had a whole squadron of.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. That might work.
Even the dewbacks weren't terrible.
Yeah, they were fine. That was a fine adaptation. I'm good with that. A lot of dewback love today. A lot of dewback.
Yeah,
love
I saw
today.
I saw earlier you guys were talking about it. Then you
Yeah.
got the Falcon taken off, which that wasn't a bad scene either.
Yeah, they tweaked that a little bit. Yeah, some of that stuff was fine. And actually, some of the creatures they added in that scene with the things walking around with the Jawas in the background or whatever, that was all right. It looks out of place. It doesn't quite look right and stuff, but
this. Do you remember this little robot they added on?
Yeah, I didn't like the little robot added. I was like, that's a waste of my time. It's just they didn't do any good. Yeah.
Yep. But no, those are just a couple of some of the cards that I have that came with one of those Star Wars magazines. But yeah, man, I love the original trilogy more than anything. I don't know, Pops. Have you said on another stream like what's your favorite? Who's your favorite character of Star Wars?
Oh, Boba Fett is.
Boba Fett resonate with him.
Yeah, I was so enamored with the mythos and the mythology and the mystery of it before it became a thing. They teased it perfectly. They gave me little doses of it. Even with the way Jedi goes, all I did was wait for them. I'm like, he's not dead. I just literally was like a kid, like, no, he's not dead.
I know. I was bummed out when I was like, what? I was like, no way.
He's not dead.
No.
So I actually did the comic book review I did today on Star Wars number 81 is for that reason, because it explains what happened to him. And then kind of like my little conspiracy theory on what the writer was probably told they could or couldn't do. I thought it was really kind of fun. But everything's Boba Fett. Everything is Boba Fett. And then it's more about like, I don't know that I had a favorite after that. It's like, I just love so many elements of everybody. Like I love part of why I like Han. I love parts of why I like Luke. I love Vader for Vader. I love, these esoteric characters for all sorts of silly reasons. Like some of them I love because they had cool action figures. Some of them were just cool designs. It's just, you have all these different elements that are just so good. So,
yeah.
All right. Well, we will open the door and see what happens, because there we go. And then I will go through chat. I will let that be up to you guys to drive our conversation a little bit. So we pin this. You guys can start coming up in here. Come up in here when you're kind of ready to talk and ready to go. We'll kind of make sure we rotate people in and out a little bit, so we have time to make sure we get as many folks in we can. Yeah. If I miss anything in comments, it gets really crazy doing it now, so bear with me. I know you got tons of great Chris is there, other Mags is there, tons of great mods are out there, so they'll help me. But Solus has some great games are out there, tons of great. The Birth of Video Game is just, a whole rabbit hole. I did not do justice at all to that element of their company, like the whole LucasArts and development of gaming and all that. We didn't even touch the surface of any of that, really, to be honest.
Yeah, they expanded so much on the universe through the video games. Such good stories. Soul Assassin makes a really good question. Can a Ghostbusters Proton Pack capture a Force Ghost? What do you think, Pops?
Probably.
I'd say, that's what it's for.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. I don't know that it can hold it in the trap, might be the caveat, right? That's one of those, the proton pack can catch the ghost, it sucks into the trap, but it can get out of the trap. Like it can't be contained in the trap. So that'd be my fair compromise, so I don't diss either franchise. How's that? How's that for the complete nerd non-answer?
Full
Greedo
circle.
in a Speedo is in the house, man. We'll talk about the Star Wars GOAT. He is among the best. So adding all the CGI stuff, didn't like it. Yeah. Okay. All right. Epic collection of Boba stuff. Yeah, there's some good stuff out there. So loving the non-sports call. Oh, yeah. Got a whole box right here. It's freaking, I love it. The whole binder. So I can go all day. Copa's in the house. Jedi Bill in the house. He's got those Topps widescreens. Actually, I had some Topps widescreens I thought we could give away, but I don't even think I have a set. And then I started organizing them, Matt. I'm like, some of these are all dinged up and stuff. So I don't know. Maybe I'll just give them to you. Let you sort them out. You can kind of play with them, how to do whatever.
Yeah, mine aren't in the greatest condition, but they're
listen, those OG cards, Copa. Pops Pops Empire Strikes Back. Those are the original 80 cards. Those are first Boba Fett cards. So there you go. The questions. I'm just now catching up. So awesome. Very good. I think I got everybody. Cool. I love. I only want to go to the binder only because I want to show you some cards. I know we've probably talked about these are all comic books. There's even like new stuff in here. These are like newer stuff, but look, Marvel wasn't broken the whole time. Like, look, this is just a cool Vader. You know what I mean?
Remember some of those good comics.
Some of
back
this
in the
stuff.
Day.
Some of this stuff is just fun. Look at this. I just love this stuff.
I know. The art is so freaking awesome. Some of those.
This is newer stuff. This isn't OG stuff. This is newer stuff. It's just they get you. I love these weird little variants that they did where they do like variant covers. I love
saw
these.
that in the
fun.
book. That just looks just like the little characters, the toys.
Yeah, so I have all this kind of stuff. I have, for some reason, a random Spider-Man book. I don't know. He got bagged with the wrong section, I guess. I don't know what happened there.
And that was one cool thing about the action figures too. On the back, it always had like the little detailed explanation. And I always tell the story. That's how I first heard of the Clone Wars, from the Stormtrooper back. It said what the Clone Wars were, and I was like, what? As a kid, I was like, what the hell is a Clone Wars? I have no idea. Like, because it didn't explain it in the movie.
And it was the same thing with the Burger King glasses. Is how we all learned that there's a term called Sith that applied to Darth Vader. We didn't know what that meant.
Yeah.
We didn't know what that meant. So, all right, let's bring in some fun. DJ Ronnie G is here. Shellback is here. Let's rock and roll, gentlemen. Happy Star Wars Days to you guys.
What's up, gentlemen?
Greetings.
Happy Star Wars Day back at you. It's good to be here.
All right. Ronnie G, what is going on, brother? What's going on? You've been hanging with me on and off all day.
I'm just doing some janitorial work on the Death Star right now. Polishing that floor because it is covered in dust. I mean, like, it's just a disaster. It's like as if it was about to be blown up by some rebels or something. But yeah, man, I've been on and off. I had a hell of a night. Couldn't sleep last night, which was really odd because I didn't really even like do anything crazy last night. I didn't go out or anything, but like I couldn't sleep until like really early morning. So I'm like trying to fall asleep. I watch Loki. I catch you after Loki, and then I get like basically a nap. So I wasn't with you all day, but like I gotta say, man, you really had a lineup today. Like just one thing after another, and I got some catching up to do. And I think it's the type of catch up you do when you enjoy it. Like some of this stuff was fun to watch. I mean, what you did with Troy this morning, that was a real hoot. I enjoyed it.
Well, perfect. That's exactly what I want to hear, and that was the whole point of all this, man, was to do that kind of thing. Shellback, my brother, so great to have you in here for the first time. It's awesome to see you. Thanks for hanging out with me, man.
Yeah, and I got to say, what's up to DJ Ronnie G. I've known him, I guess, for a little while, but only in chat, so this is the first time I've actually come face to face with him. I know he's got some love for the turtles. Turtles.
Yo, word.
Indeed.
I see this dude posting turtle emojis on Loki's show. I'm saying like, so do you keep any pet turtles? And you're like, nah, man. What is that? Like a Navy thing or something like that? Like, were you in a turtle like regiment or something like that?
Yeah. No, that's where the name comes from. It's it's actually a title that you get when after you cross the equator.
Oh, so, cool.
There's a whole ceremony and everything. Well, I don't know about now because they're lame and you can't do any hazing type stuff.
Yeah, it might offend somebody.
I took that out of the mix.
But
yeah.
In fact, the year, or well, not the year, but anyway, so after I became a shellback, right, and and it was my turn to dish out the stuff, right. It was just after, it was right around the same time as the whole, the tailhook scandal. I don't know if any of you guys ever heard any of that stuff. So yeah, we couldn't, there was no hazing. So yeah, it was, I couldn't do even half the stuff that was done to me, but, so I was kind of disappointed, but anyway, I just have some coffee or some cocoa in my Star Wars cup, and it's all
That's
better.
it, man. We're just hanging out. We're doing our thing today. We're just reminiscing. We're just enjoying the
But
experience. It's been a blast. So cool, man.
which
Whitechapel
a
says
lot.
you never go wrong with non-sports cards. This bro has more non-sports cards, Matt, than you. I mean, his stuff is nuts. He's off the chain. So I got to get with you, Whitechapel. I got stuff I got to mail you. I got some extra stuff, and I got to get your list of what you need so I can help you track some of it down, brother. So yeah.
Yeah, man. I actually found a pack. I thought this was unopened, but it's actually, I must have opened it when I was a kid thinking like, oh, well, I'll open it, but I'll keep it in the pack so I can make myself feel better about opening it. Because, like, I always have that contention.
Cards. Yeah.
Wow, I didn't even know these were widescreen. That's cool. So, so speaking of cards, we got a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I couldn't find my Star Destroyer, but, these are beautiful. I might have to scan some of these. Yeah, not bad. I mean, for Phantom Menace, I used to hate on Phantom Menace, but, I'm glad we see it through a new lens now, even though we had to go through some turmoil to, discover our love for the prequels.
Yeah. Yeah, the widescreen cards were kind of fun because they just, it was just something different. They were very uncommon. They never really caught on in the other non-sports arena. And Star Wars is like, screw you guys. We'll just do something too. And it's like, oh, all right, cool. All right, we'll take that too. So that's awesome.
Hey, I love the pod racing, thing because I grew up a gearhead, so I love auto sports and all that stuff. So I love the racing. That's why I like the speeder bike chase in Jedi, Return of the Jedi. But like you, Pops, though, I have the an original Millennium Falcon, X-wing, and Rebel transport. Right. Unfortunately, they're on the other side of the country at my mother's house. But so I've had to replenish. Well, is that the word? Not replenish, but anyway, add on to whatever of my collection, over the years.
It's Dubak love, baby. The theme for today has been Dubak love.
And so there's this little store.
Showback got me pretty good. I didn't see that coming at all either.
There's this little store in the town that I live in that actually you can find. I mean, these are OG vintage stuff, and so yeah, that's Sandy. I know that's a real imaginative name, for him, but that's Sandy. Yeah, he.
It's cool.
I don't have a bantha for him, so he has to, he has to slum it on a dewback, but yeah.
Well, it's very believable that the Sand People would take out a Sand Trooper and just hijack that dewback and all this. There's not even a question that would happen. I totally believe.
And
there we go. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I had, man. I had the Han and I had Hoth Han on a Tauntaun.
Yeah. Well, I've got Hoth Han, like I said, and he's on the other side of the country, like I said, but yeah, this is a OG X-wing Luke Skywalker that I got from a friend, but the Tauntaun was that from that same shop here in town. And in fact, I bought the dewback and the Tauntaun together. But
that's pretty cool.
It is awesome. I love just experiencing all this again. It's just been so much fun today.
But yeah, the dewback.
I know they were so excited.
Cool.
We're just so excited to have this stuff. Dude, it's great. Someone asked, did you ever get the figure 2-packs that came with the comic? And I remember them. I know about them. I don't think I have any. I don't think I have any of those. I do have one of the first, but this was a modern Star Wars thing. So it's one of the new 2-pack things that has a C-3PO and an R2. It's in the trunk, which is at the bottom of the area, so I couldn't get that out. Maybe next year, but it's more like a really cool Star Wars celebration-y kind of exclusive thing that I just fell backwards in kind of thing because I love it's like the OG characters, even though it was the modern company. So let's see here. Prequel quid. Yeah, that's fine. So Love that pod race. N64. Yeah, the pod race was a blast, man. I had to get decent enough on that pod race with my kids so that I wouldn't be shaming up the Star Wars OG fans. So I had to get decent. I'm not gonna claim that I was good, but I was good enough with my kids to not be showing up. So, and yeah, they still love it, man. They still love it.
Yeah,
so,
it's
Pacific
still
414 raid. Oh, here we go. What's going on?
Oh man, they had a bump in the stream. That was off the hook on 414.
There we go. Mike, you and all your folks are always welcome. You guys hang on up in here and hang out with us. Phil McCracken is in the house. Oh my gosh, Phil McCracken. Thank you guys. Padawannabe coming in. That's right, man. Let's bring it. Let's do it.
Good game.
They brought that Star Wars figure back towards the late 90s. They were all buff. Yeah, they had like this steroid look about the original Power of the Force orange cards were just crazy looking. They're crazy. Showback's got the game.
This was my impulse buy from that same store. I have to get an Xbox though.
Oh, he got it, but doesn't have the console.
Oh, they're available. They're a dime a dozen now.
But,
in fact, you get an Xbox that has the games preloaded on it.
Wow, that's awesome though. Good dog, Shua. That's way to live the fan impulse buy, and that's fine. We're down with that. So, yeah. No, I will tell you, the pod racing has been the number one thing my oldest grandson asked for. Doesn't seem to hold him much the rest of the way. I have to switch out the disc and get over to the original OT where there's lightsabers and troopers and like that. He doesn't seem to really have much interest in much of it yet. I don't know if you guys heard me. I said this earlier too. I actually have like sequel toys for them to bust open and put together because I needed something. I didn't, it was cheaper to get them a knockoff Kyle Ren TIE fighter that they can just, all right, here we go, kids. We're going to open it up, put stickers on it. Here we go. Then let's just start playing and having some fun. So I'm not sure we'll do that this weekend, but that's in the box. I have a couple of these things set aside for them to do just exactly that. So
this one here was my favorite Star Wars game. I don't know if you guys could see that. Jedi Outcast 2.
Outcast. Okay.
Yep. That was my freaking favorite one. I played this in like just the dismemberment that they had, the lightsaber battles and stuff. And then I don't remember if any of you guys remember this. I think it still exists. It's still around apparently, but the massive multiplayer Star Wars Galaxies, apparently it's still around, but man, this was freaking awesome back then. It was cool. It was a fun game. It was massive multiplayer. You could be a smuggler, you could be a bounty hunter, you could do, it was a blast. Star Wars games used to be so freaking cool. And then obviously like some Xbox games, Battlefront, Episode 3. So dude, there's so many good times.
Were you guys buying a lot of figure stuff when this Power of the Force, those orange Power of the Force and then the green Power of the Force? Matt, you would have been really, really young to do that kind of stuff, but that's like this big resurgence of the figures and things like that. It went completely bonkers.
I got several of them.
Yeah.
And I know that they're not worth a whole lot because they were just like pretty much overproduced from what I understand. But, I didn't get them for them to be worth anything. I got them for decoration. So,
yeah.
My only thing is like, unlike, the original stuff, seems like all the Power of the Force figures are like, like everybody was going to the gym,
Yeah.
they're all like,
their arms
all like
are turned
buffed
in.
up. Yeah. But
yeah, and that's kind of what Bobby was saying. They're all like they're freaking on steroids and stuff. Like, yeah, they kind of came out and it was really kind of strange because like Luke and Han in particular, they look like they're like He-Manned up and roided up.
Yeah.
These are the boys. The boys have these. This is their Leia, and Leia looks like a man's man. What's the volleyball, like the dodgeball movie? The Russian lady. She's got a little bit of that feel going on there. I think just a little bit of that. But they had cool stuff too. Look, this was like they added this character and like they did a Power of the Force card. I'm like, what on earth is this nonsense? And it came in one of these multi-pack character things the kids wanted, and they got one. But the articulation was so good. This is Leia for the speeder bike. Yeah. And it came with like so much detail and stuff. She has like her hands like are perfectly molded so they can fit on the speeder bike. Can get her cloak to go down and stuff like that. But I thought these were great. These were yeah, there are pros and cons with all of it.
I heard that backup singer in my head though when you held her up.
Oh God.
Oh yeah, it's a little unbearable to handle that kind of stuff. I have to admit, it's rough, but no, there are pros and cons with all of it. I will say this: at least it was an excuse for me to get my kids into it. So this is their favorite character when they were little. They may not say that now, but they are. They loved Kit Fisto. I have no idea why.
He's just cool looking. He's just cool.
I guess, but to a little kid, yeah. So I have in my office, I have a mini bust that I got for them. They wanted it. It's like, I got it cheap at a show or something. So I was cool because I got their character.
That was one of the coolest thing I think of Clone Wars was just seeing all the different Jedi running around just at that last scene, just taking out battle droids and stuff. It just really lets your imagination go, especially if you were a kid. So it was cool to see. It had its issues, but it was still
Yeah, Gap and Bobby are discussing Star Wars Unleashed. That's pretty cool. Force Unleashed.
Mm-hmm.
Phantom Hooligan saying great stream. Yeah, man. Thank you so much. Thanks for hanging out. Awesome. I've never played the Unleashed games either, Matt, so I don't know for sure. So.
Yeah, I've always heard really good things about them. So I heard there are really good stories. So I've heard even the books that they made, they adapt them into books were supposed to be really good too. So
cool. Well, with that, we can also welcome in another great Jedi, Bill, my brother. How are you, my friend?
Good. I heard you were doing show and tell.
We are doing show and tell. We're open mic'd. We're just having fun hanging out. This will be my last stream of the day. We'll see how I last. Whoa, he's got a binder.
Oh,
these
wow.
Oh my gosh.
Topps
those are what I was trying to get to.
Galaxy.
Those are Topps finest cards.
Yeah.
Topps finest cards.
Foil etched. I have the
They're
entire
beautiful
set.
chromium cards.
That's awesome.
You get to that Boba Fett card. That Boba Fett card is a GOAT card. It is card 34, I think.
The fact that you know that off the top of your head.
Don't start, Matt. Don't start.
These have been in a tote. I don't even have shelf space for them, but yeah, look at
Man.
an Ultra Pole binder. These are just beautiful cards.
Yeah, I love trading cards. Like those are so cool. They're just little pieces of art. They're awesome.
I'm so glad you did that, Bill, because look, I was trying to get to that with Matt earlier. Look, here's my binder. Here's my cards.
I had to do some digging.
34 right there. That's
what was
binder.
it? What's the number?
34.
34.
34 is the Boba Fett card. I've never sold that card less for like 20 something dollars the last couple of years. I don't know what it would go for now. The market is so soft. Who knows what it'll sell for now?
There it is.
These cards are beautiful.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And I don't even know how many, because there are gold versions of these, so that they look similar on the front, but on the back they're gold. And I don't know if there were one to every other box or something. They were very hard to find, and they were really cool.
Look at that.
You're going to have to get a cheesecloth, wipe those fingerprints off. You're stressing me out. It's a freaking beautiful chromium card of Boba Fett. Oh, I love it, Bill. Thank you, Bill. I was trying to get that earlier, but Matt and I started talking about cards, and I'm such a card nerd as he knows.
Yeah. I love them. Is that, did Topps come out with them?
Yep.
1996. Topps. So it's 93, 4, and 5. That's Star Wars Galaxy. Then in 96, they did the finest set. And the finest set just knocks your socks off. I mean, these chromium cards.
They look like the Marvel set that they came out with, because they had something very similar with the Marvel characters.
And there's some more.
Yeah.
Yep.
Non, but they're
Those
all
are Galaxy.
Topps.
Those are Galaxy cards. Yeah. Yeah.
I have everything that's just been in this binder since probably 96.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I mean, if they started coming out with cards like this again, they have to go off the shelf, right?
So the things that are going off the shelf now, they've changed it. So the rules is now they've changed it. So they mass produce the regular cards and they create parallel cards that are serial numbered and stuff. Look how beautiful the art and stuff is on some of these.
Yeah. Foil etched Darth Vader.
That's
cool. It's a motion change. Tilt the binder. It changes face. Yep.
See Anakin's face. That's awesome.
There's some of the sequel trilogy, of course. The whole thing's all Star Wars.
I went pretty hard on like Star Wars Galaxy 2018 set, and just got stuck with a lot of them. The market just died on it all now, and it's like, but they're beautiful cards, and they're just these beautiful parallel cards and stuff. But he's got the widescreen. Look at that, guys! He's got the widescreen in a binder.
Yeah,
there you go. That's how to rock it. You have to get special pages.
Yeah,
you have to get special pages for them, DJ Ronnie G.
Oh yeah, I spared no expense back in the day.
That's excellent.
Awesome.
Yeah, very nice, Bill. That's so cool.
Oh, and I have some comic books too.
Bill's sucking up, man. He's playing all the right tunes for a pop show. Boy, I tell you what, right now. I got to clean all this mess up tomorrow. Figure out how to. I got stuff everywhere. Oh yeah, it's a Java series. Yeah, look at that.
Oh, that's cool.
And somewhere I have an autographed. There's Dark Empire. I don't know.
Cool.
Those covers are so incredible. Dave Dorman's such a good job.
Beautiful artwork.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Princess Leia.
Yeah. Yeah. She's.
Tales of the Jedi.
Oh yeah, that's a good series.
Mm-hmm.
It's a hot comic right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of speculators are after that Tales of the Jedi #1 right now. They all think it's going to be a thing with the newer playing films. It probably won't even happen, but
yeah.
That's good, Bill. That's nice stuff, man. It's taking us
That's
back
awesome.
to the beginning, man. Dark Horse did some really good stuff.
Look at that artwork.
Yeah, it's great. The art on these covers are phenomenal. I will be honest, I'm not a huge fan of the interior art on like Dark Empire and Heir to the Empire. Some of the interior art's not as great, but the covers, man, I can't argue. These are freaking work. I mean, I have them slabbed and on my walls. So
now, did Marvel make these first and then it went to Dark Horse, or
Right,
no,
so Marvel,
Dark Horse.
No, wait. Marvel did the original OG 1970s release, so they did 107 issues back in the day. There's movie, that was the original stuff. The licensing expires, and then you get into the Dark Horse gets the license, and that's what happens in the 90s.
I remember because in the 90s when I would see them all the time, I always saw the Star Wars stuff and the Alien comics, and they all were Dark Horse. That's what I remember. Right. Alien versus Predator, Alien.
Here's where true Indiana Jones stories.
There you go.
Dark Horse Indiana Jones. Oh, yeah.
The real deal.
Those are in the other room. I didn't bring those in here.
Well, it was amongst with the Star Wars stuff. So.
They're nice. They're nice.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you guys are familiar with Alex Ross as an artist. He does like these photorealistic ones. They're even scarier, beautiful than those. It's like they're nuts. He did some Indiana Jones that are just incredible. I haven't read a lot of them, but I've seen them. And I have so many. I have a big stack of them.
That's about it.
That's fun, Bill. Thank you, Bill, for sharing. That's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Whitechapel's got so much stuff, man. It's nuts. All right, let's check in with DJ Ronnie G. He's still doing some house keeping on this project. Yeah. Look at Hans.
I don't have much to show for it, but what I was able to round up in the short notice, and actually it wasn't short notice. You guys gave me a whole month, right? Since May the 4th, you and Loki be like, this isn't the real day. It's the 25th. So I had warning. But that being besides the point, so I inadvertently found this Han Solo and Carbonite, and what jumped out at me aside from the detail, and I mean it is good detail there. I mean you got like. I don't know if my brother, when he bought it, put the decals on or if they were already on the item, but, it's got these decals. But what jumped out at me was this little area where I guess you could put the Han Solo action figure, and I suppose you could, like, pretend, that, the carbonite is melting when it falls off of his body or something.
Yep.
So that's kind of cool, and this here, like, I have mini figurines somewhere. Like, I have a box of Micro Machines. I have a fleet of starships. Before I was 3D printing starships and painting them, I was buying Micro Machines, and those were great because every, other week I get my allowance. It was like $3 for, like, a pack of, Star Trek and Star Wars Micro Machines. I got the Cloud Car, which is super cool. I mean, it's a good Micro Machine. It's just really lends itself nicely. But let's take a closer look at this Death Star real quick, because there are some cool features. Does anybody else have this one by any chance?
We had it for our kids, but I don't know. We don't have it anymore, and I don't know where it is, if it even still exists. But yeah, it was super cool. The kids loved the micro stuff.
Yeah. I think
my
a
wife
micro
hated it
machine-
because she was afraid the dogs would eat them.
Yeah, I could see that. You know, small parts and dogs being
yeah.
inquisitive. Yeah, I mean, you know, between the micro machines and the itty bitty mini figurines, which is pretty much what you would do, right? You put a TIE fighter or the Millennium Falcon up here, and the general idea being, I think the Millennium Falcon was supposed to go up there because what you would do is, see, like, I'm a little confused here because you got two things, like almost like this is the exit docking bay, but essentially if you put a ship up here, it's sort of like being, you know, pulled in when you do this. It's like the Falcon is being pulled in by tractor beam straight into the hangar bay. But then that kind of makes this part or feature seem redundant unless maybe, I guess, you know, it's up to your imagination to decide how you're going to utilize this and this. But, you know, I just thought this one had a lot of cool decals on it. This is like just like my Starship Enterprise D. Loki picked one up, like, I think a few months ago, where it's got like the bridge and you got like all of these moving pieces and the doors move. This one, the doors don't move, but we got, you know, actual blast doors, and we got, you know, a good decal of the stormtroopers up here. You have that communications or control room thing. You got the garbage dump, you know, or the prison, you know, prison section, I guess, you know.
Corridor, yep.
Excuse me, sir. Could you show me the exhaust port?
Yes.
It should be right below the main port.
I believe it's somewhere between the desert and the Death Star.
X-Wing Luke is looking on very keenly on all the details of your Death Star.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Ask your R2 unit.
Not
He's
much
got
bigger
the
than a
data.
Womp Rat, Shellback. Not much bigger than a Womp Rat.
So, you know, you got like you know, Uncle Beru, Aunt Beru, and Uncle Owen's house right here. Those, you know, may they rest in peace. You got this thing here. Looks like the Doug Trio from Pokemon. I don't really know what that is, but it jumps out of the ground. Oh, what's this? Oh, yeah, dude. That is. I don't know if I remember this as a kid, but that's Uncle Owen.
Oh man, yeah.
It's a skeleton, right? It's like he's dead. Yeah, he flips
Yo,
over.
that's rugged. Wow,
Hey,
I did not know
Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru throw a hell of a barbecue. All right.
that.
And on the
Tell
right,
me.
isn't that silhouette in the sand? Isn't that supposed to be like dead Jawas in the sand over there on the right, just to the right of your hand there? Yeah, the orange little thing. What's that? No, back where you were.
These
Go back
are
to-
actually, I think, moisture evaporators.
No. Okay, what was the orange thing there on the next?
Or
to the
these
right?
here.
Yeah, what's that?
I'm not sure, but that might. I see what you're saying, though.
I thought they were dead Jawas, but now a closer look, they don't look like dead Jawas at all.
It looks
I
like
thought I was-
tracks,
Oh,
but
okay, yeah.
mostly I'm thinking it's probably just garbage. You know, like when they were going to Mos Eisley and you had like random starship pieces on the ground, like in the background, which is something that George Lucas and whoever was in charge of that got right. You know, they always had cool stuff that fit. So even before you had like, you know, premium visual effects and CGI, they knew how to make the scene, you know, and even like though this creature here was just operated by a man holding a broomstick behind the head, I think it completed the scene. You didn't need all that, you know, fancy crap to do a good job if you know, had the creative minds behind it.
I want to point
this-
out there was a dewback in that scene. Just so you know, there was a
Yeah.
dewback on that back wall. So dewback continues to be a theme of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Dewbacks are ruling the day for sure on this Star Wars day.
The dewbacks ruling the day.
Yeah,
So,
just
you know-
everybody's got dewback love. I mean, Shellback was just showing off one. It's just he was just rocking
Yo,
the dewback. It's just
That was
this
a
is-
nice dewback.
it's
Yeah.
just- look at him go. Yeah,
That
what
is
you
a
do.
beauty right there. It's like a pet turtle right there. So,
Hang
you
on,
know, I
let's take
mean,
let me step back for just 1 second and get
Yeah, no worries.
Gap asking about the Boba Fett gold coin. I'm a whole snake eyes on that one. Gap, don't have it. Don't think I ever had it. Never really was big into the coin stuff, but
oh, I
yeah,
got
just
a
don't have
coin.
that one too much.
I have a
Yeah.
Pog right next to my bear from I forgot to bring here, but it's a Pog Slammer from the 90s. Remember Pogs?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I got
Man.
a 25th anniversary Pog Slammer. I think that's what it was. But, you know, it's basically it. You know, I mean, the only other feature I would show you guys is the fact that it's like a dial up here you can rotate, and I should probably put some lithium grease on it, but basically, I guess you could pretend you're having a dog fight, like a dog chasing its tail. So, you know, that's basically all the cool stuff I got to show today.
Max,
you know,
Max need to take care of that Charizard card. The Charizard cards are the most sought after cards, and people are bonkers for those things.
Oh yeah.
there we go.
Oh yeah, that was that Backyard Farmer. I think is talking about Jedi Bills cards and all those different ones. They were commenting about the Ralph McQuarrie art. Yeah, Empire Strikes Back stuff.
Yo,
yeah,
Ralph
great
McQuarrie
stuff
had
there.
beautiful. I love the concept art.
Those commercials. Oh yeah, there's commercial. I got them out there. I get another commercial here in a minute. We can't do it. So. Yes, two-back love and the two-back moment. I know. It's fun. I love it. I love it. I love it. So, yeah. It's been cool to be able to kind of go down that memory lane and hear from so many of you guys talking about how much it, like, made you nostalgic, made you love stuff, that kind of thing. So, but we got to almost 8:30, so I can't, like, leave Mags hanging longer than she's probably tired. Hopefully, Mags, you're eating. If you guys didn't know, I did agree to do the Padawannabe challenge because we opened a pack of gum. These are going to go to Mags. I guess Nas did a transfer of ownership, so the cards we opened in the last stream will go to her. And the Padawannabe challenge. Yeah. Matt's always here for these with me. I don't understand what's happening with this trend, my friend. What's yeah. I have my Dr. Pepper ready.
Oh. Godspeed.
Oh man, it's so brutal.
Oh.
Can you hear that? How bad it is?
Not really.
Not
It's
that
so
bad.
hard. It's not dissolving like the last set did.
It's like a piece of rock.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, still going. Yeah, so brutal.
Is it just
Flavor.
powder? Is it
Yeah.
no gumminess?
Mm-mm. I'm trying not to drink the soda to go boss. But, once it starts dissolving, you get that little tiny bit of the remnants of what was a bubblegum flavoring. But it's almost like having a Tums that doesn't have the chalky taste. It has the chalky texture, but it tastes like bad bubblegum. But it's that sandy, gritty Tums feeling.
Oof.
And then there it goes.
Bubble.
It hits you. Then it
That's
hits
it.
you. It hits you,
Ever
hits you with that
really good,
residual.
I said, was the gum ever really good though? I don't know.
Oh no.
No, Shellback, it wasn't. I know. Oh. It hit you after the fact, though. It gets you later. After you. Oh, yeah.
Those
There you go.
after chills.
Man of my word. It has. Oh, that's Arwen. It has hardcore aftertaste. It's brutal. That's the worst part.
Ugh.
Oh, boy. There's another clip for us. Woo. Ugh. Yep. Man of my word, though. Let's do it. All right. What are you showing me, DJ Ronnie G? What are we looking at here?
I'm just showing it in the background. I don't want to, I know you got a time thing, so I figured I'd just flip through this in the background, but I just remembered the other thing I wanted to show. And like I said, this I can just show in the background while you're doing other things, but I got the Essential Guide to Vehicles and Vessels, Essential Guide to Weapons and Technology, which is literally things like the origins of the lightsaber. They got the backpack unit. They got the nipple gun, or boob gun, as some people called it this morning during Loki's show. And
yeah, Loki always calls it the nipple gum, yeah.
It sort of does look like one even on the inside of the schematic here, So that's all, and like these are books that my brother picked up, but when he got married, he never took them with him, so I commandeered them. Jokes aside, if he ever wants them back, he can have them, but I'm taking care of them. I'm keeping them in the Ziploc bag that he stores them in, and I think this is the one that has some of that McQuarrie artwork in there, right? His and yeah, this is one of the things this is like one of my first introductions to Ralph McQuarrie's beautiful work right here. Yeah. And years later, you like find that picture of the Millennium Falcon
there you go.
being
That's
drawn.
it for sure. Yep, that's some of the early. That's some of the early McQuarrie stuff.
Mm-hmm. So there's some of the fire art. Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. And Pat S with your blow the bubble nonsense, Pat. I see you. I'm not gonna forget it, Pat.
More like dust.
I'd love to have both of those books because, like I said, that's the couple of the things that I just really liked was the ships and the, all the gear and the gadgets and stuff,
And those encyclopedias they came out with that go into the in-depths of everything, and that's what really made it go beyond the movies for a lot of us is that the detailed books like that, you know what I mean? Where you just know that, like the fact they took that much time to go and explain all that stuff, and just that's the stuff that I really enjoyed.
But that's the stuff that I think was what kind of got us hooked. And you know, Bilk and vouch Shalbach, I think you're as old as I am, or at least pretty close, right, brother? And it's like when we had those trading cards and stuff, it's like on the backs and whatever, these comic books, it was always about like, it was just a little bit more of stuff. Like you knew a Wookiee lived for how long? It's like, what? Like, what do you mean he has, you know, a Bangalier? What does that mean? Like, what is this? What is that? You had all these little like breadcrumbs of a bigger universe. And then later it become like an encyclopedia book or something like that you could get. Yeah. And Showback, if you don't have those, I'm telling you right now is a great time to hit that flea market thing, like you were talking about, the thrift store, that kind of, these things land in all those places for nothing right now. Yeah,
well,
they really are.
You know, like Mags was saying on your other stream, you know, it's like, you know, I didn't get all the toys and stuff, you know, like some of the kids in the neighborhood, you know, and so I'm trying to make up for it, you know, in my later years. But you know, I'm still a bit on the poor side, so you know, I get what I, you know, a little bit here, a little bit there, you know.
I got you, brother. I feel
there's also if you find some older stuff that's because some of those like the Millennium Falcon and X-Wings, you'll notice they start to yellow. Like if you've ever seen them, over time. There are channels out there that I saw on YouTube. They'll show you how to restore them.
Oh, so I need that because my stuff was well played with. I mean, like you know, the Rebel transport I have, not so, you know, it's all right. I mean, I think the chair with the guns or whatever in the back, you know, when you opened up the back of it, there was a gun thing or something. But you know, I might need to replace that. But like my X-Wing and my Falcon. Dude, I could make dioramas of like a, you know, hangar queens, you know, because they just look like they've been, you know, picked apart, you know, with, you know, you know, it's like, oh well, we'll take parts off of this one to fix the other one, you know.
Story of my life.
Yeah, Soul Assassin, you're right. It is retro 80s. Yes, Mags, I know. And Mags, what did you expect me to do with it? Like, it dissolves in your mouth. It's not like there's like something tangible to even spit out. Like once you break it apart, it just dissolves into near nothingness. Mags, you guys are messing with me. That gum was like chewing a credit card. Yeah, well, now it's like 40-year-old credit card, Bobby. What do you want from me? Yeah, it's a 40-year-old credit card now. Soul Assassin says those guides are hard to find. I did not know that. I actually have seen them at times. Maybe I need to be more alert to when I see things to start checking. Look at Dubak's just shaking his head at me.
Dubak SMH. Okay.
Yeah. One bit at a time, right. Retro Blasting has a great episode on that. I know that's Retro Blasting's name's come up a couple times. So I need to watch that because I need to go to these figures and get out some cotton swabs and Q-tips and I guess some alcohol and whatever, and watch some videos and figure out how to get them cleaned up a little bit. Swishmouth has spit it out. No, it's worse. It's worse. It's almost like, you ever try to spit mouthwash and it doesn't work and it just kind of goes like that? That's what would happen. It would just be this mass of nothing. Yuck. Princess Leia Rose is here. Hey there, lady. Had to back it up to see you eat the gum. Yeah, Jacob. Listen, you said you'd do it, Jacob. Jacob is on record at saying he would do it. He has a pack of Batman 1989 cards. So, and I have a box that's supposed to be going to somebody, and I can just say there could be a box of 89 cards in there just in case he wants to do that too. Just saying. Let's see. Yeah. So what is the one thing out of today that you guys have come away with where now it makes you want to do something? Maybe you want to watch something. Maybe you want to go look to buy something. Maybe you want to play a certain kind of game. What out of today has kind of stoked the fire and kind of got something going on there? What about you, DJ Ronnie? Well, DJ Ronnie is already playing a game behind my back.
Yeah. I mean, like this was at one time my all-time favorite video game. Possibly still is, but I mean, you know, there are newer Star Wars titles such as the Battlefront 2. Original Battlefront 2, not the disappointment that was basically Call of Duty with Star Wars characters. And I mean, this game was off the hook when it came out. Like, it was like you have a little bit of everything. You got Battle of Hoth, which I'm in the middle. I get the trip at
What is this?
AT-AT.
What is this one that you're playing? What's this one called?
Oh, this is Star Wars Shadows of the Empire for Nintendo 64. It is also available for PC on GOG Games and possibly Steam. And that version does have a better quality. It does have like better audio. It's got like Redbook audio, which is supposed to be like CD quality audio, whereas N64 had to make compromises in order to fit all of that data on a cartridge. Yeah, so Shadows of the Empire has something for everybody. And so one of the reasons why it gets a bad rap is because they were so ambitious. One of the guys in charge of the production was Mark High Hutchinson. May he rest in peace. He's a British game developer. And there's an article that was on a website called Gamer Sutra in which he goes over the making of Shadows of the Empire. I'll see if I can fetch a link momentarily. And it was ambitious because you have... Okay, you got Battle of Hoth. This is obviously me flying around over a terrestrial, map. Then on the next level, you're doing first-person shooter. You're trying to run through Echo Base. You got to get in and get out. You got to deal with stormtroopers. Then the third level, you're doing the asteroid field. And they're playing this song for Empire Strikes Back. You know, that song when they're in the asteroid field? So it's like, that's just a good vibe right there. It really is. Like, it's very Star Wars. Like, it really puts you in the universe. Then after that, you got the hover train. Before Solo, there was Shadows of the Empire. They have a whole hover train level where you got to hop from one train to another. And then you got to fight IG-88. And
that was the pain.
That was a pain. And every time he spoke in that robotic voice, for some reason, it would send a chill up your spine. Same thing with the Wampas in this game. The Wampas, like, I mean, you get used to it, but I swear, for some reason, like, once you're in the game, you just, like, hear the Wampa go, roar, and you're like, and same thing with IG-88. And then you got, some, sewer. You got to go through the sewer to get into Prince Chizor's palace. I'm sure I'm skipping something. Oh, the Gaul spaceport, where you get to fight Boba Fett, and, like, basically you're fighting him in, first-person mode. And then he's climbing into a ship, and you got to fight on foot. You got to fight his ship before you can, win. And then you get to blow up a space station where you got to fly into the core, shoot at the core, and then escape as the station's blowing up around you. So, I mean, this game was, like I said, Star Wars Shadows of the Empire. A fantastic game, but certainly a game with a dedicated format. For example, Rogue Squadron. Since that game is exclusively, flying, fighter combat, you do have a better experience, better graphics, because they were able to focus on that. And part of the issue of this game was it was a launch title, so they had that deadline. But all around good game.
Made me realize how much we didn't really scratch the surface of gaming or anything like that, and I'm glad that it kind of, and you're taking me back, because a lot of the graphics on this one, it's very similar to that the cabinet game that you would go and sit in that came along in the 90s, and they'd be at Chuck E. Cheese and whatever. And yeah, I was all about that game. That was all about my thing. So what about you, Shellback? Anything from today besides like wanting to go and hunt down some different things that you don't have yet? Okay, I'll get to you, Bill.
Yeah.
I see you, Bill.
I'm thinking about going and doing a little shopping, whatever, later. But I mean, I want. Believe it or not, I don't have any copies of the movies currently. I had all three of the original trilogy despecialized on my laptop, but that laptop got stolen out of my car, so
backups.
Yeah, those bastards got my movies,
Yeah, we got to figure out how to get you hooked up with the OG copies there. Yeah.
But I've seen, I go to Walmart and I see, see them sitting on the shelf there, which I'm sure they're probably the newer versions or whatever of the movies, but I don't know. I might still buy them just so I can, have them, because even the newer versions of the movies are better than none at all. But.
True, that's true. Jedi Bill, you're showing more stuff off on me here. I think it's the take home from today has become very obvious. We got Bill all excited to go and track down stuff in his house. He got comics, he's got cards. He's going to be nerding out on this stuff for hopefully a week or so. I got him all keyed up for now. He's going to drive everybody on his channel crazy. Going, blame Pops. We're doing comic book reviews. We're going to talk about cards. You guys have to live with me.
Somewhere I have an autograph by the artist but it's none of these. But I have another copy of the X-Ray Squadron there. You know.
Nice.
This is a four-book set. The entire set's there. And somewhere I have the rest of my Droid series. That one that covers a classic right there. Yeah. Dark Horse put up some great stuff with great stories. Really,
I love those cartoons, man. I love the Droids cartoons.
Yeah,
and the Ewok cartoons.
Bill in private chat, there's a link there for you. You should be able to find what you needed to read any of those, so you don't have to crack them open. You could read those without having to actually open the originals. If you want to go check that site out, it's got the ones. It's got the Star Wars books on there for you, so that'll help you out.
Oh, okay.
It's in private chat. So.
Yeah, I got it.
All right.
Thank you.
That's good. That's good. All right. Well, that takes us. I think we've gone around pretty good. Everybody, Matt, where are you at on Matt? Matt, well, what have we done to you and your world now to make you want to go out and rewatch, rebuy something? What have I done to help break you and the Star Wars nostalgia button?
Probably get back into some reading the EU books. Like I said, I've been collecting a bunch of them. I'm trying to space out my time from you know how busy this stuff makes you, so it's very hard to. But I do want to get into some of the EU books and read a lot of them. I read like Shadows of the Empire, right? Like a couple of the classics, but I want to get into like the Rogue Squadron book series or, Heir to the Empire. Like I've always heard really good things. I never had a chance to read it.
Gosh.
I have it. I just haven't read
it's
it.
The OG.
I know.
It's the OG.
Everybody says that. Everybody says like that's like you gotta read it.
1991, baby. Heir of the Empire and Dark Empire, the comic book series comes out, and we're all on fire for Star Wars again, brother. It was a magical time. It was the best of times and the best of times.
Yeah, look at a lot of those books I have.
Look at Shellback.
Yep.
Yeah, look at Shellback bringing the game right there.
This has been one of my missions. Okay, these are all.
There's the Thrawn trilogy right
there. None of these have the freaking legacy. They're all OG freaking books.
Yep, that's what I do. I try to go to thrift stores, and I try to find the older versions because I don't want to buy.
Well, that's where I got these is a used bookstore here in town.
Yep.
If
you
you
can
go
find them fairly
paperback,
cheap.
Yeah, paperback you can find really cheap. You go first print hardcover, then you're risking some roll of the dice of what you may run into. But yeah, you get those you get that stuff. Anyway, Soul Assassin's throwing you some love, Jedi Bill. So make sure you know. Lots of love for Shadows of the Empire stuff. That was such a great time. So
yeah.
The oversized book, I've got that too. It's so awesome, Gap. I love it. It's in my storage trunks. Maybe next year, Star Wars Day. One of you gentlemen will be holding an all-day affair, and I can jump on there with my stuff. I'll have to reverse engineer this for someone else, I guess. Go ahead, Shellback.
Hey, Pop. So, like, I'm gonna take y'all way back. Do you remember the kids' books? With the freaking cassette
the 45s?
or the record, it's and for the rest of the book, turn to side 2. The read along freaking kids books. I would buy those now. I would buy those, and I would sit here at 52 years of age. Yes, that's believe it or not, but in my 50s, and I would I would read.
On that vein, this is not a Star Wars related, but I can tell you what I have. It's on the other side of the room, so I'm not going to get him. Go get it. I have exactly that. The cassette read along. I not only have the book, I have the one that was rolled out to schools, so it's like a kid's version and a teacher's edition version for Song of the South.
Oh wow!
Oh wow!
Wow!
The king and goat of inappropriate is in this book. Oh, I have a pretty hefty price tag on that, baby. It's not going anywhere anytime soon.
Oh no, that needs to go in the will. Okay.
It has it has like the whole plastic case and stuff that it comes in because they were all in like a thing. Like the teacher got the whole kit
Whoa.
with the cassette tape and stuff like that. So I need to do a whole video just on that. But Lord, that will open me up to all sorts of interesting feedback.
Yeah, I was
so
gonna
we will
say.
see. But I'm not opposed to it. I actually said I'm going to do a watch through. I'm going to do an EFAP on Song of the South because I actually own a digital copy and a physical copy. So yeah. Mags is throwing down. She's got the OG Thrawn. Darth Angulus has been making a fan series of Heir of the Empire. That's cool. Very cool. Awesome. So yeah, Song of the South. I know. I'm there. So. Well, guys, I need to wrap up here and kind of call it not only a night, but a day. Call Mrs. Pops. And like I told Matt before, whenever I stop, I will fall into a deep, deep, hard sleep. But I tell you what, it has been a blast. I am both exhausted and like on a high. I know it's like going to a theme park. You know how that you're still on that. It's like 11 o'clock at night and you're still not at the exit yet. And you're like, you're still on a high, but you're also like, man, I am ready to fall down. I can't even imagine to thank everybody enough for doing this with me. Hanging out and talking nerd stuff like this has been a blast with everybody here. The Do Back Love. I can't believe it's just been so much fun doing that. All day long it's been Do Back Love. Oh, look at that. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
You got
We've got a
THX
thing. It's called Do Back
special
Love.
edition.
Where's that Do Back trailer, commercial, whatever?
Ah, very nice. Does
I'm trying to
anybody
see,
have
is
the
it-
widescreen version? Because I don't. I'm just curious if anyone does.
I don't think mine are widescreen.
Okay.
I
I'm
don't
not sure
think
if
so.
it is.
I don't know. I'd have to look.
It was like $20 more back in the day. It was like $50 versus $70 when I was, shopping.
I think well, here's the early bird commercial. I don't think I played this today or not. I don't know. Here's the early bird commercial. We'll do that because I think Matt and you and I were talking about this at one point.
Star Wars figures. R2-D2. Chewbacca, Luke, and Princess Leia. They're the Star Wars early bird set of figures. These action figures are not yet available.
Oh,
But this
wow.
Star Wars early bird certificate
There it is.
package is in stores with this colorful Star Wars picture display stand and certificate to send in to get a set of figures
He
by
will
mail.
send you stuff.
They'll be sent to you at home.
You don't get
between
them today.
February 1st and June 1st. The Star Wars early bird certificate package, new from Kenner.
I have that Chewbacca and I have that Luke Skywalker with where the lightsaber comes up out of his arm. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. So that was one. Let's do see what else I have not played today. If there's anything that I've missed, because I have so many of them, and then once I'm going to pull them off the laptop, they'll be backed up, and I won't see them for a minute. Yeah, I never had early bird. Joker had it. I actually, the first time I saw one, like in like modern times, I was at a Star Wars celebration or a MegaCon in Orlando, and it was still sealed. They have an early bird box that was still sealed, $14,000.
Oh, wow.
And I have to be honest, to have one that's still sealed, I'm not even sure that's a bad price.
Yeah.
Like that's it's still sealed. The box was still sealed. That's crazy. Who kept that thing? Like what on earth? Let's see. Oh, I don't know. We did poster in game. This is a weird commercial, actually. It might have been part of one of the
You're right
intros.
where
or
you want
outros.
him. On Kenner's new Star Wars Return of the Jedi poster with the exciting Star Wars trivia game on the back. The Imperial
Really,
forces
I do
are
not remember
challenging you
this,
to
actually.
match the names and faces of all the characters from Return of the Jedi, like Luke Skywalker and Bib Fortuna. And it's all free. Look for these details at participating stores or send 2 proofs of purchase from any Star Wars action figures to this address and beat the Empire at their own game.
Man, that stuff was so cool. Like, just, I don't know. I wish they don't do stuff like that anymore. You know what I mean?
No.
It's so cool back then.
I sure don't.
It's sad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, I don't think we did. I don't think we did Sice Noodles and Max Rebo. How did I miss that? Oh my gosh, we have to have.
The beat and the band plays on. You can relive it all with Kenner.
Elephant Man.
The Star Wars Return of the Jedi collection. Introducing Size Noodles and the Rebo Band. Jabba the Hutt action playset sold separately.
Play it again, Si. Starring Size Noodles, Droopy McCool on clarinet, Max Rebo on organ. Ribbit Rebo. dance, Droopy. It's your last solo, Snoodles. Whoa.
New size Snoodles in the Rebo Band. Jabba the Hutt action playset sold separately from Kenner's Star Wars Return of the Jedi collection.
Yep, there we go.
Yeah, poor guys never made it off that sail barge, though.
No, they did not. They did not. There was no way of relocating Max Rebo. He wasn't getting off that boat. So
the freaking Mos Eisley Cantina band, though, they're like, yes. It's like now we're gonna get all their gigs.
yeah, we're the only band in town, baby.
Yeah.
We're the only band in town. Well, gentlemen, thanks for hanging out and doing this stream. Thanks to all of you in chat. It's it's just been great. It's been fun, and I look forward to seeing you guys doing things like this on your channels and talking more Star Wars, things like that. So, but yeah, no, thanks to everybody out there. Later, Dewback, you take care. Let me see here. Collector case. That's the only one I got downloaded. That's what we'll go out with. Collector case it is. Take care, folks.
From Kenner, it's the Star Wars mini action figure collector's case. Action figures sold separately. The collector's case holds 24 Star Wars action figures, like Stormtrooper, R5D4, and Snaggletooth. It comes with 2 plastic trays to keep them in, or you can turn the trays over and display all your figures in action poses. You can pack up Star Wars action figures and take them with you.
The Star Wars mini